So, I did the calculation. The last episode was supposed to be for the 13th of October, which means, considering it's now the morning of the 20th, we are 6 days behind. So, I've recorded 2. This will be the 3rd, and we'll see if I remember more days. Anyway, hello everyone. My name is Ian, and welcome back to A Year and a Day, my Arthurian quest to right the wrongs of my past and maybe build myself a better future. Today's episode focuses on The Edge of Sleep by a show that stars Mr. Mark Fishback, aka Markiplier. His series got released early on the 15th. I've watched it on the 16th. I watched through the entire series in between eating breakfast and then also doing some backyard watering. The way we do our little watering system is you got a sprinkler head that we put on a hose and set in one part of the yard, let it go for 15 minutes, pull it down, water that part for 15 minutes, and so on and so forth. Basically watering the sides of the house because it's like a U shape. It's like leggings from Minecraft, really. That kind of shape. You've got the big part up top and then the legs on the side of the house. So 15 minutes aside, and in the center it's 30 minutes of the big, I'm like a windshield wiper. 30 minutes of the big sprinkler head going over and over. Before I was sitting up, someone said, play a little funny prank. Our hose head, or at least where the water is connected into the house, it's not one end, it's 2 ends. And so when I went to go turn on the water, it didn't go down the hose end, it went down the other end and got all over my pants, which is great. I just put on those pants and now I gotta, thankfully it's just water, so just let it dry out. But that's besides the point. So I was doing that, eating breakfast, also watching The Edge of Sleep. The series is 6 episodes, which I honestly thought it was gonna be more, but then I looked into the actual podcast. It's based on like, oh, these episodes are only like 20 to 30 minutes long, not even 30 minutes. And I looked at the episodes, like, these episodes are 20 minutes long, not even. It's a short series. It was shorter than I was expecting it to be. Honestly, it probably could have been edited into like a 2-hour movie, honestly and truly. And the cinematography was good. I liked a lot of the visuals. Mark's acting was it didn't feel, and it just didn't quite hit for me. The two lady actors, I really enjoyed. I thought they did a good job of portraying their characters. And then the other guy, it felt like he was just overdoing everything. Like, really overacting everything. Not overacting, overreacting to everything. I don't know if that's how the character is supposed to be portrayed or how it was portrayed in the actual original podcast, but it was a lot at some points, and it really felt like it didn't quite gel with everything. But the use of sort of music, the recurring musical motif, was a very nice touch. I think my favorite point of the show, spoilers, by the way, for one of the later episodes, was when one of the characters is dying, and you can hear the intro music come in, and you actually get to see the widescreen shot start to close in more and more and more. We get less and less of the visual as the character drifts further and further into sleep. It was a very, very, very cool idea. Very cool, very neat concept. The pacing and it feels like the pacing is good, but there was very little progress. It felt like a lot of episodes were trying to do a lot with a little. At least that's what it felt like. And not much was explained by the end of it, and it ends in this kind of cliffhanger. There's supposed to be a season 2, but that wasn't. There hasn't been one for the podcast or the book adaptation, or one for the TV show. Now, the reason I talk about this show, and the reason why I even watched this in the first place, because I'm not a horror guy. Horror freaks me out to no end, at least in the sense of the psychological horror or the analog horror. I tried to watch Monument Myth House or I can handle Local 58, and a lot of the Monument Mythos episodes I can handle, but the spin-off series, and then the one episode with the angel, I don't know, it wasn't for me. Like I've seen I've seen Halloween, and I've seen Alien. That's really the extent of the horror that I've seen. So yeah, I'm not good into horror, but this one wasn't too horrific, and so it wasn't on edge that much. But anyway, the reason why I watched this show was because, due to some reason, Mark or anyone on the show weren't allowed to promote it until like the day before it was supposed to release, which I found to be crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want your biggest star to promote the show like over and over and over? And they had like stipulations like, oh, this show's gotta be in the top 10 for the full month, or else we won't release your movie. And the movie I'm actually really looking forward to, because it's a video game adaptation. It's an adaptation of the video game Iron Lung, which, considering, it being an indie game, and very much on a smaller scale, to see it have such, see it, get a wider profile release, and be in the sort of same vein as bigger franchises like Pokemon, like Mario, like Sonic. It's exciting, and if it does well, I think it would open the door to more adaptations, to possibly even more adaptations of some smaller indie hits, or at least inspire people to delve into that, because there's a lot of stories out there that told within a video game space that it would be interesting and welcome to see in a movie perspective. I mean, we have video games trying to recreate that movie, that cinematic effect, with The Last of Us and God of War and Heavy Rain and stuff like that. And we've had a very, very small amount of movies that try to recreate sort of the video game, the feeling of video games. Hardcore Henry is often described. There's one other that I can't quite remember. It's a kind of a time loop movie as well, where a girl has to race across a city to do something. I don't remember it, but I know it's often regarded as, while it's not technically a video game movie, it's very much a video game movie, and not in the sense of adaptation, but an actual video game movie. And we've seen video games get translated, and we've seen movies get translated into actual video games, the video game adaptations, movies. And so we have this back and forth between the artistic mediums, the two newest artistic mediums, if you think about it. And this would just, I guess, add another thread to string them together. Art inspiring art. Because before video games, there was movies, and before. Well, hold on. It's not perfect, because different branches build off of different branches, build off of different things, all coming back into this singular tree of art, But video games very much kind of pull from movies and television and books. Space War inspired by Mr. Lim's sci-fi series. And those three, books are one of the oldest. Books come from writing, and writing's probably the second. Writing's probably the third oldest art form. And movies and TV shows go back to earliest cinema and reels, and that goes back into theater. And theater is a combination of acting, of plays and stuff, which goes back into writing. And of course there's also music as well, tying into everything. So if I had to say, and the visual, trying to, costuming, get the visuals to be striking, and that goes into pain. So art is descend. Art has three parents, I would say. There is music, there is writing words, and then there is visuals, painting. You know, we started with rock paintings, cave paintings, going into murals and carvings and statues, into full-blown architecture, grandiose ceiling mosaics. It all comes back to I see, I hear, I write. Now I don't know what I write is in Latin, but you have audio, video, and oh, let's look it up. Let's look it up. What is writing in Latin? Hope the laptop doesn't crash on me. I write in Latin. Scribo. So audio, I hear, video, I see, and scribo, I write. Well, three things birthing all of art. And of course, I guess I create. The human's desire to create. That's what birthed art. So yeah, I would rate Edge of Sleep. It was good. 6.5 out of 10. It's enjoyable. It's not trying. Don't expect it to blow your mind. But don't expect it to be, you know, bad or anything, because it's a YouTuber project. But yeah, there's that. As for the rest of that day, jury stuff, and yeah, you'll see a lot. GRE is gonna be the thread for the following many days. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ian. This has been A Year and a Day, number 59. Whoa. Take care, and good night.